Barack Obama, what are your thoughts on the Declaration and Constitution?
You know, I think it's a remarkable document. I think
which one?
The original Constitution, as well as the Civil War amendments. But I think it is an imperfect document, and I think it is a document that reflects some deep flaws in American culture, the colonial culture nascent at that time. African Americans were not. First of all, they weren't African Americans. The Africans at the time were not considered as part of the polity that was of concern to the framers. I think that, as Richard said, it was a nagging problem in the same way that these days we might think of environmental issues or some other problem where you have to balance, cost benefits, as opposed to seeing it as a moral problem involving persons of moral worth. And in that sense, I think we can say that the Constitution reflected a enormous blind spot in this culture that carries on until this day, and that the framers had that same blind spot. I don't think the two views are contradictory to say that it was a remarkable political document that paved the way for where we are now, and to say that it also reflected the fundamental flaw of this country that continues to this day.
Growing call to ditch the U.S. Constitution? Who says the Supreme Court, the supreme law of the land, is outdated, and why? A live report coming your way next.
Hi, Uma. Well, Georgetown law professor Louis Seidman says don't blame a broken government system for our current fiscal chaos. Instead, he says we're to blame for our, quote, insistence on obedience to the Constitution with all its archaic, idiosyncratic, and downright evil provisions.
This is our country, and we wouldn't let France rule it, we wouldn't let the UN rule it, and there's no reason for us to be ruled by people who are long dead, who had some good ideas but had a lot of bad ideas, and in any event, for whom it makes no difference at all.
And he's not the only one questioning just how well our Constitution works in this current day and age. There are others in the academic world raising the same questions. And just last year, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, speaking with Egyptian media after the ouster of President Hosni Mubarak, and as the country was beginning to reshape itself, said this, quote, "I would not look to the U.S. Constitution if I were drafting a Constitution in the year 2012. Well, lawmakers we talked to said, hey, we've amended our Constitution many times. That framework was built into it. And talk of scrapping the document that protects things like freedom of speech and freedom of religion is ludicrous. Here's GOP Senator Mike Lee.
Do I understand how it is that we would go about deciding which provisions to follow and which ones to scrap without going through the amendment process? That sounds chaotic, and it would lead to a certain degree of lawlessness within our government.
Professor Seidman says that getting rid of the Constitution would not unravel our society and claims we have disobeyed it many times in the past, and our country is still standing.
I thank the gentleman. I rise in opposition of this bill, but I would like to clarify something. We're not trying to scare kids. This president's foreign policy is what's scaring the kids of this country. And that people have said today, why are people believing this? Why are people believing this big internet hoax? Well, it's the same people that told us Saddam Hussein had something to do with 9/11. Same people that told us Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Same people that told us we were going to be able to use the oil for reconstruction money. Same people that told us that we'd be greeted as liberators, not occupiers. Same people, same president that told us the Taliban is gone. Same president that told us that Poland is our ally 2 days before they pull out. Same president that tells us Iraq is going just great. Same president that tells us the economy is going just great. Same people that told us the tax cut was going to create millions of jobs. Same people that told us that the Medicare program only cost $400 billion when it really cost $540 billion. So please forgive us for not believing what you're saying. Please forgive the students of this country for not believing what you're saying. Not one thing about this war that has been told to the American people or that has been told to these college students has been true. Not one thing. Bremer says we need more troops. The Pentagon says we need more troops. And this president can't get them from the international community. There's only one option left. Let's be honest with the American people. I yield back the balance of my time.
America is pursuing ambitious reductions in our carbon emissions. We've increased our investments in clean energy. We will do our part and help developing nations do theirs. But the science tells us we can only succeed in combating climate change if we are joined in this effort by every other nation, by every major power. That's how we can protect this planet for our children and our grandchildren. In other words, on issue after issue, we cannot rely on a rule book written for a different century. If we lift our eyes beyond our borders, if we think globally, and if we act cooperatively, we can shape the course of this century as our predecessors shaped the post-World War II age.